Coming up next, how to do a video cover letter or resume, and then what's going on with employers turning to machines with the lack of workers. Plus, we take your calls, and it starts right now. All right, here we go. Coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville. You've joined a conversation about you, specifically who you are, what you were created to do, where you can do it, and then how to get there. In other words, we want to help you move from paycheck to purpose, where you are working to make the contribution that you long to make. You're going to make the income you need and the impact you want. 844-747-2577 is the toll-free number to jump in. It is, in fact, a conversation. I am your coach, counselor, and cheerleader in one phone call. Oh, by the way, it's free. 844-747-2577 is the number. You can also engage in the chat room on YouTube if you're watching live just after 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. So, video cover letters and video resumes. Is this going to be a thing? I would suggest to you the video cover letter is already a thing. I think it's a thing if you decide you want to make it a thing. Do I think it will be widely accepted in short order? Absolutely I do. If you think about the rise of TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram, Facebook, the personal video is a part of our world. It just is. YouTube, where people are YouTube millionaires here on this platform by simply videoing themselves playing video games, as one example. My daughter is watching wildly popular YouTube channels where girls her age are displaying and playing with fidget toys, essentially just opening them up, playing with them, showing what they do. Wildly popular. So the personal video is here to stay. So the next frontier certainly is where employers could say, you know what? We have artificial intelligence software that is gauging people's facial reactions, their eye movements, body language. I've reported that here on this program before. Now, that's not widespread right now, but it's out there, and that, as with any technology, over time will become more broadly used. And so if AI can read people's body languages and faces, how much more can a human do it? And the answer is a human can do it much more effectively. So I could tell you the video cover letter and the video resume is going to be a thing. So quick little tips on this, and I've written an article on how to do a really good cover letter, how to write a good cover letter. You can go to kencoleman.com or ramseysolutions.com and search that article, and you can read that. And I would use the same information and the same tips that we give you in that article for the video element. But specifically, I'll tell you this, 30 to 60 seconds on the video cover letter. And even if you don't do a video resume, very proud of our resume guide, which is free at kencoleman.com. The templates, we have 6 templates for sale at kencoleman.com. You click on the store. 6 templates for $9.99. Okay, but the resume guide is free, and you have a free template that comes with that. If you use our resume guide, you're going to stand out. But I would use the cover letter, the article and the cover letter as your framework for the video cover letter. But I would do a video between 30 and 60 seconds. You could rehearse it. You could do it a million times. I would just make sure that the audio quality is great. The lighting is nice and warm and well lit. You look sharp, like you were running into this person. Don't look like you ran in for a 10 o'clock at night grocery store run in your sweats and hoodie. Look like you'd want to look when you see them. And shoot the video on your phone. Does not have to be world-class production and super expensive cameras and all that. Just a nice 30 to 60 second message that basically includes the job description, elements of the job description, and how you have that talent, how you have passion for the work of the job description, and how the results mean something to you personally. Talent, passion, mission, which is what I teach all the time. I would include something about those 3 things tied directly to the actual job description. Now, again, read the how to write a cover letter and implement that into your video. But I mean, this is a great first impression. You can email that, you can text it, you can attach that, however you feel like doing that. That is not absurd. And I will tell you, even if they don't say, we accept these, say, oh, Ken, should I do it? Yes, you should do it. Who's not going to look at a 30 to 60-second video? In fact, in your hard copy cover letter, you could say, here's a link. You could do a private YouTube link on a non-public channel. Be easy to do. Post a video there, or say, hey, I've emailed you a video, a Vimeo or a YouTube link, or just I've sent you the actual video itself. It's only 30 seconds, or it's 45 seconds, or it's 55 seconds, or it's 60 seconds. Put that in the cover letter. I'd be shocked if a hiring manager and HR pro doesn't go watch that 30 to 60-second video to get a real impression of you. And you want to talk about standing out, not just because you did a good job on the video with the tips I gave you earlier and what you'll get in the article, but also just because you may be one of a few or the only one to submit a video cover letter. And then I'm going to tell you, be ready for a video resume. And if you want to try that, you're feeling gutsy, remember, you can still submit the templates that we give you, any one of those. But if you also want to submit a video template, and if you could do that in 2 minutes or less, I challenge you, because we tell you to keep everything on one page anyway and relevant. Have your template printed out in front of you, and you can glance down at it. Practice it, but you could do a video resume as well. Again, shorter is better because they're going to have the hard copies of reference. But for those of you that are feeling really gutsy and want to take a shot at it, there's nothing wrong with doing a video resume as well. So there you go. Shoot away. Shoot that video, get some feedback on it, and send it. 844-747-2577 is the phone number to jump in. Let's go. People are already standing by. We'll start off with Jimmy in Providence, Rhode Island. Jimmy, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet, Jimmy. How can I help?
I just wanted to get your input on my plan for, getting my dream job and seeing what you think about it.
All right. Tell me what the dream job is, and then tell me the plan.
So I guess the dream job would be in basically driving, big trucks, CDL, or even just small package trucks. Right now, I got a job at UPS as a package handler. Definitely really tough, just being in there, doing something, a lot of hard physical labor that I'm not used to, but I know it will all be worth it in the end. And actually today,
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I'm sorry to interrupt. Could you try to stay still and keep that phone right on your mouth? That last 30 seconds was really hard to hear.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can. Let's try that. All right. So you said you experienced some hard labor with testing this. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. So right now I'm in UPS working as a package handler, and it's definitely a struggle because it's not exactly what I want to do, but I know it's on the ladder, like you always say,
right,
to get where I want to go.
Yeah.
So I did get a driving test today by UPS, and I passed.
Good.
And soon I will be delivering packages on the way up, you know what I mean? So
good.
I'm on the path. Yeah, so everything's been working out so far.
Okay.
And I'm really excited. And it felt good being behind the wheel for once,
Yeah.
Like I felt like, okay, this is bullshit.
Well, and you also appreciate it a little bit more because you had to do the packaging part, and you had to be on your feet, and you had to do the part that was dull and boring and soul-sucking.
Soul-sucking,
so it feels really good to hop behind the wheel, huh?
Oh, my gosh. It felt like a breath of fresh air today.
Well, let me tell you something. Congratulations. You did it absolutely the right way. You've now stepped onto the next rung of the ladder. So what's your question for me?
So I was just wondering at the same time, I'm like, I was also thinking about real estate. Like, my mind's all over the place for, like, a career path and everything. But I think that CDL driving, I'm really interested in it. I feel like there's a lot of different options. And I'm actually on the path to, get my CDL license as well as just UPS is just on the ladder. But I'm also taking classes to get my Class A license as well. So
what's your question?
I was basically seeing if I'm on the right path.
Well,
seeing what you think.
Well, you told me at the start of the phone call. what your dream
Yeah.
was. Remind me. Remind the audience. I
Yeah.
want you to hear yourself say it. What's the dream?
To be a truck driver.
Okay. Well, where does real estate fall into that?
That's like more of a hobby. So I'm like,
Great.
I've been on.
So
top
keep
of-
it at
yeah.
that. So keep it at the
Keep
hobby.
it at that, right?
Yeah. So what is this? Are you calling me because you're asking me, Ken, am I doing the right thing? Or do you have some
Yeah,
specific
basically.
doubts? Yeah, you're absolutely doing
Yeah.
the right thing. Here's why. Because now you're behind the wheel doing the driving. Let's just break this entire thing down to the type of work that you are really passionate about, and it's driving.
Yeah.
It's driving for a purpose. Why do you want to drive? What's the end result of driving that makes your heart swell?
Being on the wide open road, traveling, just, delivering, making like people happy right when I get there.
There
doing
you
the
go.
right stuff.
There
Yeah,
you go.
delivering that package.
All right, so here's the deal. The UPS job is doing the very thing you want to do. It's just you're at the first part of the mountain. You're on the base and you're climbing. You know what you want to do. You're on the mountain and now you're making some traction. And now you're really in my 7 stages. You're really in the get promoted stage now. I mean, if you
Yes,
think
sir.
about it, you got started, okay, by getting this job. You were in UPS and you were in a day job in UPS, but you were using the proximity principle and you were getting around there and you did it. You did what you needed to do. You paid the dues, and now you just got started. So you're in stage 4 and now you're moving into stage 5. So you just got started as the driver. So you're really in stage 4, but now you're looking to get into stage 5, which is get promoted. And the more you get promoted as a driver for UPS, you have massive credibility working for a name brand company, and you're getting all the experience and you're verifying that this is in fact what you want to do while you get this license, a CDL license. And once you get that, man, you're going to be ready to step into the next promotion. So you'll be and get promoted for a while until you get that dream job where you're on the open road. Maybe you own your own truck. Who knows? But yes, my man, Jimmy, you're doing it the right way. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Good stuff. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Grand Forks, North Dakota, where Brad joins us. Brad, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. How are you doing?
Brad, I'm living the dream. What are you doing?
Well, I'm hoping to be living the dream. I want to get into life coaching. There's a long backstory that goes along with that, but my goal eventually is to become a life coach, helping people figure their lives out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious if you've got some guidance on a good coaching program, whether I should use like the Maxwell plan or some of these other coaching programs. And maybe one day the dream job would be being a Ramsey personality.
Oh, okay. All right. And so
I'm currently a radio show host myself. That's kind of where this is all starting.
Okay, gotcha. And without giving me the really long story, give me the high level summary, the 1 minute or less summary on why you yearn to be a life coach.
So I'm a former pastor who stumbled into radio about 7 years ago, and I now do a 3-hour-a-day talk show. And I just want to do work that matters. I want to help people with life. I've got a lot of life experience. I'm married 25 years, raised 2 kids to adulthood, and they never ended up in jail or on drugs or any of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as a former pastor, I still want to do ministry. But on a little bit more personal level than just standing on a stage and preaching, which I love doing that too, but I want to do it on a more personal level.
Yeah. And what specifically, when someone says life coach, that could mean a lot of different applications.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you've got your general, we all should have like a primary physician, primary care, right? And you kind of go there first, and then based on what the symptoms are, they then, point you in the direction of specialist. Are you wanting to be a primary care physician, or are you leaning towards specialization?
Probably more the primary care physician. I do have some areas of specialty. As a former pastor, I've done marriage counseling and things like that. But just more I've been a student of leadership and all of that for a long, long time. So probably more the primary care physician with a slight specialty in a couple of areas.
Tell me those. That's what I want to know.
Parenting and marriage, a little bit of finance. My son is actually 19 years old and has been following the Dave Ramsey plan and has got $30,000 saved up to buy a house already.
Good.
And so some of that, those are probably the three most important.
Well, let me tell you what I'm hearing. I'm not hearing general practitioner, life coach. I'm hearing marriage and parenting specialty. That's what I heard. That's what you just said.
Yeah.
So when I pushed you and I was pushing you on purpose, you got specific. So it's really not a general practitioner. Sounds like to me you want to be a marriage or parenting specialist, if not both.
Right.
Or is one of those higher up the ladder than the other? If I told you couldn't do marriage counseling or and parental counseling, but you could only do one and do it really well, which one would you pick?
Probably parenting.
That came out pretty quick. I think that is higher up the ladder to you than marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Yes?
And that's just because I feel like my wife and I have worked so hard together at that. The marriage part is you kind of have to have a strong marriage to be good parents, I believe. Yeah.
If you were going to share one message right now, let's say I put you in front of 7,000 people at the Ramsey Solutions Smart Conference. And I put you in there. I called Dave. I said, "Hey, Dave, I got this guy, Brad. I think he's good."
Yeah.
And here's this one talk. What's the title of your talk to parents in that room? Now, tell me.
The one topic, the one thing that everybody I think would need to hear is raising your kids well is probably the single most important task you will ever face as a parent.
All right. And you got how many? What's your outline? You got 5 points, 3 points. What's it look like?
I follow the Andy Stanley view of 1 point preaching. The one thing you got to learn, you got to parent your kids well.
All right. So I'm having a little bit of fun at your expense, but I was trying to help you hear your heart.
Yeah.
And see, one of the challenges for somebody like you, when you say, "Well, I want to be a life coach," is really wrestling with the voice, the voice you're going to have. And connecting that to your heart. See, the voice must be connected to the heart, or else it's just not going to make much impact. So that's why I was pushing you to choose. I'm not suggesting that you couldn't do marriage content as well, but anytime somebody calls this show or runs into me, and because of what I do, and people know my story, so I think people like you connect to me. You go, "Oh, Ken did it. He kind of did it later in life." Well, my voice was developed out of my heart. And a very specific need that I wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Like I didn't say I want to be a life coach. I never said I want to be a career coach. Now, I've got this title that the team has given me, America's Career Coach, but that's marketing. Do I want to be America's Career Coach? Yeah, I want to be the single foremost, like true coach on the air where people can get access to me and through the books and resources and stuff. Sure, but here's my point. You've listened to me long enough to know that I'm not a general career coach. I'm going to get up in your business. I'm getting up inside your heart, and I'm going, you were created to fill a very unique role. Here's how you figure it out. Here's where you can do it and apply it and make it happen. I'm about working on purpose because I believe that you cannot live on purpose without working on purpose. You know that. I got a very clear message, and as a result, I have a very clear methodology. So that's what you're going to have to develop. I can tell you, and you can, look, if you just go check out the International Coaching Federation, is a good place to start. That's a really serious program that requires skin in the game and a lot of effort, and it's a quality training program to teach you how to coach. You don't have to go through them, okay? But the reality is before you start going, "Well, I want to be a life coach," you need to decide, who is it that I want to coach? Why do I want to coach them? And how do I want to coach them? You got to answer those questions first. Then we go about the business of getting the training and any certification that's necessary. But you have to be on fire, man, about this because this is if you're going to start a coaching business, understand this is as entrepreneurial as it gets. It's not like going and renting an office on Main Street and opening it up going, "Coaching," and everybody shows up like they do to buy shoes. This is going to be a one-to-one, build it over time. So if you're willing to do what it takes and wait as long as it takes, Brad, then I'd say go for it. But if you're not, don't do it. But I think that pastor's heart in you, I think that obviously is driving this. But I want you to, before you decide to get any kind of coaching training, I want you to spend more time with those 3 questions I teach under mission. Talent's what you do best. Passion is work you love. Mission is results that matter deeply to you. So the 3 questions that help people identify those results is, who are the people I most want to help? What's the problem they have or desire they have? And then what's the solution to that problem or desire that I most get excited about? All right? You need to spend more time with that. I've led you down the path and got you started, but that's what you need to do first. And then when you get to those really clear answers, then you go, okay. Because it's not just about the coaching training. It's about, hey, while I'm getting any kind of training or certification that I feel I may need, I need to start on my own in my church doing a parenting class. I need to start doing parenting videos, writing parenting blogs, doing parenting posts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I need to start doing that now because I can begin to develop the voice, sharpen my delivery, test my messaging, all while I am getting certified. I think the big mistake that people can make is, well, I go get certified and all of a sudden people are going to hear from me. No, it's just not the case. You, in your social media community, in your actual zip code community, in your church community, in the school community, in real life for you, Brad, you're going to have to start testing the messaging and trying to help real parents. And in doing so, your voice strengthens, your voice gets clearer, the methodology appears. It's rare that I find a thought leader or somebody who is very effective at, again, distributing content, being a thought leader, content provider, and really connecting. It's rare. In fact, I don't know if I've ever met anybody that said, yeah, I had all of my methodology. I had the messaging. I had it all. It came to me one night, or I had it all after working on it for 3 straight years before I ever talked to a person, before I ever met somebody at their point of need that I wanted help. It just all came to me, and then I had it, and people just loved it, and they flocked to me. I've never heard of that. And I would suggest that I'm never going to hear about that. It's more like, hey, I want to help parents. So I'm going to go to my church and say, hey, my wife and I are willing to do a parenting class based on this book that really helped us. And we're willing to do all of it. We'll fund the snacks. We'll do it all. It starts there. And then we do this and we see what real parents are thinking and feeling and saying and doing. And how are they responding to the content? Oh, folks, you got to test it. You got to try it. You got to create your laboratory. Try some hypothesis. Oh, I haven't said that word in a long time, Joe. But it is back to the scientific method. You know, I mean, dust that off. I know everybody hates science these days, or it depends on what school of thought you're on. It's all science, or science, I don't trust it. Well, let me tell you this. I don't care what your opinion is on science or scientists and all that stuff, but I know the scientific method works. Go dust it off. Look at it and go, okay, how do I translate this to me potentially being a content provider? All right, quick break. When we come back, well, we'll hit you with some new relevant news that affects you, as well as, it's Friday. We're going to have some fun at other people's expense. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. If you're watching live at 12:24 Eastern Standard Time, give us a thumbs up right there below the video window. And share. Subscribe if you haven't. Also, know that here on our YouTube channel, our team is putting out smaller clips, not just the live show each day, but smaller clips that are very topical in nature. And so check those out. and share those as well. We are growing. And if you are getting value from the show, help us grow, would you? By just a couple of clicks that take just mere seconds. Thumbs up, subscribe, and then share. And all it does is pop up that link for you, and you can put that out via email, text, or on social media. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we love to do this on Friday just to have a little bit of fun in your week and fun at the expense of others, because we've all had work fails. And I remind you as we read these about others, if you've got a great story, share it with us. Just put work fails in the subject line. Email us, ask@kencoleman.com. Ask@kencoleman.com. All right, Joe, what do we got? All right, these come from all across the World Wide Web. Beth writes, I set the work microwave on fire in the break room because I forgot to take the foil off of my lunch. I was known as fire starter the rest of the time I worked there. Okay, embarrassing, yes. Being called fire starter as your nickname, not the end of the world. Yes, it is a reminder of an embarrassing moment, but it could have been worse. All right, that's all I'm saying.
At least people didn't sing Billy Joel to her every time she passed by.
Yeah, good call. I'm sure somebody did. That's a very good point. Yeah, I get it. I'm not going to sing. I know you're happy about that. Okay, Carly writes in, I got a new job working downtown. Since the parking was crazy expensive, I decided to commute by bus. One problem. I'd never taken the bus before, and I didn't know that buses made me crazy motion sick. So I barfed all over myself and on my briefcase on the way to work my first day. I spent the first 20 minutes once I got into work in the bathroom trying to get the puke and its smell off of me. Yikes. Okay. I love to do a little post-mortem analysis on these things, because I feel like we have to do that. If I get on a bus, okay, and I know I'm heading into work, this is my grand plan, right? She's got this idea, okay, and I realize that I'm motion sick. How much time before you go, I'm getting off at the first stop? She basically acts as though she rode the bus all the way in. What we don't know from this is how many minutes into the ride that she barfed.
Right. Was it immediate? Was it like right before she got to work?
Yeah, I'd want to know more. It would be hilarious to have these people on the show. Kind of go, now look, like if you get to the first stop and you're green, you're Kermit the Frog and you're minutes away, I'm getting off. And I'm going to figure out another way in. Because even though it's the first day at work, you could say, I got sick. You could come up with a better story for why you might have been late, as opposed to coming in with vomit all over you. This is where I'm going. I got sick, but I'm still here.
I can relate. I did this one time in high school. Sophomore year of high school was like one of the last days, riding the bus in, about a quarter mile from school, just threw up.
How much warning did you have?
Probably about 10 minutes, but I was like, we're about to be there. I know I'm motion sick.
All right, did you stick your head out the bus window?
No, I was making my way to the trash can. Didn't make it.
Yeah.
And so I just immediately went to the nurse's office, called my mom and said, come pick me up.
Yeah, this is probably a little too much for some people, but I feel the need to speak to this. If you throw up publicly, you've already been embarrassed. So what we want to do here is limit the damage done. So in Madison's case, I'm not trying to make it to the can. I am sliding the window down. I am shoulders out. And everybody's going, what are you doing? You're going, I'm about ready to blow chunks. Everybody's getting away anyway. But I'd rather throw up out the window than in the bus. I know it's too late for my armchair quarterbacking, but that's my opinion on that. Folks, if you feel like you're going to get sick, you got to go ahead and handle business. Trying to fight the body is a losing proposition.
Can you imagine being in the car next to the bus when someone does that?
Again, I'm not worried about them.
Right, self-preservation.
I'm worried about minimizing the damage and embarrassment that I'm already going to feel. But, oh my gosh, did you see Madison? She totally blew chunks out the window. That's way better than Oh my gosh. Madison just threw up all inside the bus. It was everywhere. We couldn't get out of the bus. They had to bring a mop. You see where I'm going?
Now, here in the South, we call that parking a Buick.
No, Joe. You're the only person I've ever heard in my life call it parking a Buick. Okay, to the chat room. Has anybody watching live ever heard vomiting referred to as parking a Buick? A simple yes or no answer is what we're looking for in the chat room. We'll see. Okay, moving on. Jessica writes in, when I was a teenager, I applied to a job at a hospital gift shop and was so excited when I got the call that they wanted me. It was my first job, and so I was pumped when I showed up for my first shift. The manager gave me the weirdest look when I arrived and told me to wait while she called someone. Turns out they interviewed 2 girls named Jessica and meant to hire the other one. Oh, no. And they accidentally called me. It was so humiliating humiliating to me. This is the best part. After they told Jessica that she was the wrong Jessica and apologized, this is the best part. They gave her a candy bar for the trouble. Wow. Hey, so sorry. We don't want you, but we called you and told you you got the job, but we still don't want you. But by the way, here's the 3 Musketeers.
That's really bad.
To soothe your pain. Let's see. This is Jerry says, I got hired for a corporate job, had my first day, and it seemed to be going well. And then I, with the rest of my department, got called in for a surprise meeting. Turns out we were all getting laid off. Yep, I got laid off on my first day. That has to be a new record. That stinks. Jerry's got his best outfit on. He's excited to start the new gig. Gets called in for a team meeting going, oh, this is cool. Yeah, you're all laid off. By the way, you know things are going bad when they don't even make a courtesy call to the new guy to tell him, hey, you don't even have to come in. It was a fire. It was a dumpster fire, and they forgot to call Jerry. Talk about weird, by the way. Everybody else is distraught, right? This guy, he's not even been employed long enough to really feel the sting of it. Sure, it's disappointing, but everybody else is like, and so he doesn't even get to feel so bad about himself because everybody else is traumatized. He's like, huh? Interesting. Let's see. And last one here. Jason said, long story short, don't road rage and flip off other drivers until you know what your new boss drives. Wow. Jason gets pissed off at the new boss, flips him the bird, and then they pull in. Oh, hey, I'm the new guy. Oh, I wonder. See, here's what we don't know from this. Did he just turn around and leave? What do you do there, Nathan? You're a very non-confrontational guy. Do you apologize and fall all over yourself? Or do you go, yeah, I'm going to go back on out to the parking lot and find a new job? What did he say? I missed him. There we go. The old Mike. Pretend it didn't happen.
And then if you're confronted on it,
yeah.
you say, oh, it must have been someone else's.
Oh, wow. So Nathan goes for the full-on, just straight-up lie about it and try to play it off. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on the job and how bad I wanted it. I think my approach is, hey, I'm sorry. I got scared to death. I got freaked out in the car. I overreacted. I apologize.
I would just say, hey, I was trying to shoot the guy next to you, not you.
No, see, I don't think you can lie.
Okay.
This is fall on the sword and say, this is a valuable lesson that I think I'm safe in the car yelling at somebody that I'm never going to see again. And it's just like sending a nasty comment on social media. All these people are brave behind a keyboard. Everybody's brave. Everybody's a big boy, big girl, throwing out all kinds of insults. Oh, I'm gonna whack these people with my words right here. Well, it's behind a keyboard, and you don't think you're ever gonna see them. That's very interesting. The road rage. All right, good stuff there. All right, wow, got some updated stories here to share with you. Here's one right now, Joe or Nathan. There we go. Well, we've been hearing a lot about the amount of people that are still not in the labor force, despite the fact that companies need to hire. So we're hearing a lot about hiring deficits, can't get people to come in. And so here's some more updated information from MSNBC. Here's the perspective. The United States right now is producing roughly the same amount of goods and services as prior to the coronavirus, so just over a year ago. But listen to this, with 8.2 million workers. So productivity is essentially at the same levels it was prior to the pandemic, but with 8.2 million workers less. That's why a lot of people are fried. That's why costs are going up. And people are innovating and what's happening. I told you this was coming. I don't think this makes me some great prognosticator, but I'm just telling you, I told you this was going to happen. And so companies are now accelerating the introduction of industrial robots and software from AI, artificial intelligence, that will reduce their dependence on certain types of workers. Now, the good news on this is it's not replacing jobs because these people aren't wanting to come back to work, but it's also creating jobs. Because I was wondering, how is this going to shake out? I've never, ever been afraid that AI and automation was going to just eliminate jobs and people would never be able to work again. I think it will eliminate jobs, but I think it's going to spawn more jobs, and this is the case. There's a company named Seagrid, a privately held maker of autonomous forklifts, so this is AI, based in Pittsburgh. And they saw their revenue double last year. By year's end, the company, which is very profitable, plans to employ 350 workers, which is up from 150 a year ago. That's from the company's chief executive. So, obviously, warehouses, manufacturing, they need these autonomous robotic forklifts. But the company that is getting the high demand in these things is hiring additional 200 employees. So that is a good thing. 3/4 of companies that were recently surveyed by McKinsey Global Institute said they expect to invest in new technologies to accelerate through 2024. I want to pause here. This is why I endorse, without any hesitation, Bethel Tech. BethelTech.net/Ken. Go to BethelTech.net and talk to them, because they are training people from all walks of life, from little to zero experience in technology. They are training people for technology jobs, and they are placing people. And they are placing people at a very high rate. Over 80% of their students who go for 9 months can do it from home on your schedule, and for less than $15,000 if you're a Ken Coleman Show listener and you can cash flow your way through it, they're going to give you even more of a discount. Here's the point. Technology jobs, as a result of this kind of thing right here, automation, artificial intelligence, you're going to see more and more technology-related jobs. As Ryan, the CEO of Bethel Tech, has said on this program, every industry is essentially now a technology industry. And so you want to be versatile. You want your kids to have a great trade, which is going to be a fabulous opportunity to make six figures. BethelTech.net. I'm just telling you, call them, talk to them. All the different types of technology jobs that they can train you for. Because I'm telling you, technology jobs are going to continue to boom and evolve. Now, listen to this. But this doesn't just mean, again, that humans are going to be eliminated by the onset of automation. Amazon, which is one of the nation's largest users of robots, announced last week that it planned to hire 75,000 new people for its fulfillment and logistics centers at an average hourly starting wage of more than $17 an hour. So again, don't be alarmed. Don't be scared when you hear artificial intelligence and automation. Don't be scared. There's no need to. There are still going to always need to be humans that are doing work that matters. All right, my time is almost up. But before I let you go, I want to remind you that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.